All right, so hello, good afternoon. As y'all can tell, or it's really evening. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're watching this in the world. I am in Tennessee. And yeah, good morning, good afternoon. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Let me, I was gonna take this off, but yeah, I'm doing good. The word in the yes, the word for today is going to be self-expression and release. Um, yes, I had an amazing day at work today. I got $11 in tips. Mind you, I work at a McAllister, so tips, of course, are not mandatory. Like customers, guests, like they can give you a tip. Of course, we get paid hourly. But yeah, I got $11 today. Um, yeah, we're gonna take this off because it's hot. But I got $11 today, and it was a very fun, interesting day. I had a few guests, regulars that I was talking to, and kind of just telling them about my story. If y'all don't know, uh, last mid-July of 2025, I broke and dislocated my left shoulder, and I was like that for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks before surgery, and the reason was I was stubborn because the first hospital I went to, they said it'll be fixed, healed on its own, and I took that, and it's other things too, but I took that and but told her about that story, and then told her how a couple of months later, literally, I had two seizures, two epileptic seizures that were not related to anything beforehand. So told her that. I didn't even tell her about my heart valve and all that stuff, which they're still trying to figure that out. But yeah, I was talking about that, and then earlier today, it was another guest, another regular, and we were just having a conversation because she had a to-go order, and I was just telling her about how just see, and mind you, these were older women. One was an older white woman, second was an older black woman. It doesn't really make a difference, but because I'm receiving the words, but she basically was saying, every time I see you in here, it doesn't matter what type of day you're having. It doesn't matter what's happened before. You are always kind. You always try your hardest to be kind. You always are nice. You always have a smile on your face, even if you're not having the best day. Yeah. All right. Love you. But yeah, just okay. But yeah, really just understanding. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. That's my mom. But she was telling me how she sees me every time I'm in here, and she sees how hard I work, and all that stuff. Mind you, this was two of the guests. They're kind of, I'm they weren't talking to each other. I know this is gonna sound crazy. They weren't talking to each other, but I'm bouncing their words off of each other because they were around the same time of being in the restaurant. So I'm just using that. But yeah, she was saying, just how you operate and how you see the world. And I'd be telling her, like, I always see the world as every day I wake up, every day I can walk, talk, and breathe by myself. Every day I can see. You know what I'm saying? Every day I can move. Like every day it's so many things to be grateful for. And we as humans, especially on this physical plane, are so quick to be ungrateful because we wake up and see what's in our physical reality, not knowing that in the grand scheme of things, the physical stuff that you have going on right now, the physical things that are in your world are meant to be there for a reason, and just it's about your perception. You could have you could be a millionaire and not have a good heart and not have a good soul or not see things as clearly, or and I know I be going back and forth tick for tack with myself, but it's really just about perception. And even though I'm not religious, it's about understanding that, let me take my glasses off. It's about understanding that every single day I have is a blessing. Every single second I have, every single millisecond I have is a blessing. You know what I mean? Like every moment I'm able to give a smile to a random person, or especially I love when children come in because they can see this, like they see the spirit. Like children will look at me, especially like toddlers and babies, like they'll look at me and like smile and like wave and all this stuff. And it's just like small things like that. But just be intentional with your time, with your energy, with your movements, because you never know what life has to offer for you. But back to when it came to my surgery, telling her about everything and telling her about how I was still working and still just on go. And after that, and the physical therapy, and that was very hard. And if y'all don't know, I broke and dislocated my shoulder last year. Even I be going back and forth with myself. Broke and dislocated my shoulder. I had to get a surgery. I have metal in my shoulder permanently, metal in my left shoulder permanently now, because it was pulled out of socket and dislocated. So they had to get that stuff together. But it's just about how you perceive things, and it's about perception. It's about your intention. It's about understanding that this physical reality is only one part of it. The mental and the spiritual, and how you view people and how you view the world makes your life. So if you view everybody as going against you, if you view everything as happening to you, not for you, things are going to start fucking around and falling down, and you're going to have consistent tower moments, and not healthy, not healing, just tower moments, And I love when I have the small moments to talk to my regulars, especially the ones who know about like my past when it came to the seizures and all of that, and the shoulder injury, because it's, I don't want to say breaking the fourth wall or the fifth wall or whatever, but like we see each other deeper than just customer and employee, or we see each other deeper than that. When it comes to small talks about just like things that are happening in your life or things that happen to you, one, it can be draining. It can be, you have to use your discernment for that, because some people can have your story and have what you went through and use that against you. Some will pray for you and hope you do better on all that stuff. But long story short, just about how blessed it is to be alive. And especially me last year was a completely different version of Caleb. It was a completely different version. I didn't care about certain things. Certain things were not, just did not matter to me. You know what I mean? And the older I got, the more mature I got, because I'm 22 now. It's not even I just had to realize, no, it's just how life happened. And it's a lot that I went through on a personal level. And when I mean personal, like people, like I can count on one hand how many people know the vast majority of all the stuff that's happened since like fucking 14 to now. It's a lot. And the thing is, you couldn't even tell if you were to live my life from 14 to now when it comes to everything, or you were to see a perspective, or you were to see what I went through to me now, you would think, this nigga, is he okay? Is he still like, you would think something is crazy wrong. But no, it's just my perception has been forced to change, because I forced it to change because, and I use the word because a lot, I realized you receive, you get, the things that are brought to you, they stem from who you are inside. So if you're dealing with bullshit jobs, bullshit niggas, bullshit friends, if you're dealing with that bullshit and you're constant and you're changing and you're constantly moving and you're doing all these things and you're still having nothing but mostly bullshit ass energy around you, you have to take a stop and you have to take a pause and just do some inventory. Who has been in your life? Who has been around your vessel? Who have you given access to your vessel? Like it, when I tell you, it goes super deep. And I know we started this video talking about how work was going and this, that, and the third, but everything happens for a reason. Just understanding when it comes to me and my personal life that everything had to happen for a reason. But just because certain things had to happen does not mean they would not happen again. Now, sometimes you have to go through a lesson multiple times to learn. Now, sometimes God has you go through. God has you go through the same things just in different moments of your life. You maybe go through some bullshit people, when you're broke. You may go through some bullshit people when you're a little more financially stable, but yeah, and then you will go through some bullshit when you're rich, like new level, new devils. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't really understand that it's just, one, it's how you perceive things. Two, it's the world. Because at the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, we're a spiritual world first. Everything is spiritual. Everything is just atoms. Like, look at this fucking sky. Look how blue it is. Look how blue this shit is. What the fuck is going on? Look at these trees. What the fuck is going on? I'm sitting on some grass on a floating rock in the middle of fucking space. You know what I'm saying? You just have to make things work for you without tearing somebody else down. And I won't say that was my hardest part. That wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was making something work for me that actually worked for every new moment. Now there's maybe some things, some people, some situations, some energies that don't last for a second. Yes, that's true. There may be some friendships, some jobs that only last for a second. They're not supposed to be here 5, 10, 15 years down the line. And a lot of times we get stuck in that comfortability, in that knowing, in that just like not wanting to grow, even though we don't understand that we are in that rat race, in that cycle, in this matrix that we're in. I don't know why I did air quotes. This matrix that we're in, because it was never supposed to be like this, but it's like this. So I kind of I don't want to end it, but I feel like I said a lot, but then a lot of nothing. But at the end of the day, the people who understand me and who are listening with open and receiving ears, you're going to get what I'm saying. But carry on. We as in me, as in everybody, because I'm talking to myself and I'm talking to the person on the other side of this video, on the other side of this screen, on the other side of this camera. Even though I don't know how many views I'm gonna get, I'm still gonna post this video because somebody needed to hear this other than me. Like, and then the fact that like the sun is shining on my damn face, the sky is so blue, this grass is so green, like, baby, you have a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's how many, baby. 1, where there's a will, there is a way. 2, every day you wake up, there is a chance for change. You have a time to change. Every second, every millisecond that you're alive is a time to choose a different reality, is a time to choose a different version of yourself to tune into. So if you steady choosing into that version of yourself that was a hoe, if you steady choosing into that version of yourself that was a YN, you know what I'm saying? What do we call girls? YB? I don't know. If you steady choosing and picking that reality where you're on bullshit, you're going to constantly be on bullshit. But when you stop and take a pause and realize these things that I'm doing are not helping me, they're either keeping me stagnant or draining me more than pouring into me. And this is coming from somebody, oh yeah, I didn't want that to be heard. this is coming from somebody who had to tell himself more than enough times to stop, to block, to delete that shit, to stop. Because, baby, it's a cycle. When you start bullshit, it's never meant to be easy to get out of. So when you start, drinking, when you start smoking cigarettes, when you start these cycles, when you start these things, it was never built for you to just be able to stop and just, be free. No, it was built for you to feel like you need it. Even when it comes to smoking weed, baby, like, I have to remind myself, sir, like, you're good. Yes, it helps, especially when it comes to seizures and all that stuff. But, yeah. Yes, we're gonna end that. I feel like this heat is getting to me. But, yeah, every day you wake up, it's a sign that God has more for you. Even if you're religious, spiritual, whatever, every day you wake up is a sign that you're meant for more. Especially if you're out and about and people give you compliments, people, just have things to say, like good things to say about you or your spirit or your energy or your aura or your just about you. Take that. Now, if it's not meant for you, you don't have to take it. But when it comes to good shit that's meant for bitch, I'm gonna take it all. Of course, I'm gonna alchemize it and, make it fit for me. Oh, alchemy. That's gonna be the next video. Alchemy, alchemizing things. Yes. But when it comes to just life and maturing and growing up, you understand that we live in a fucked up world, but we have beautiful moments throughout the day, throughout the season, throughout the year. And you just have to find the beautiful moments and become that beautiful moment that you are trying to find. Because once you become that beautiful moment, that beautiful person, that amazing, grateful, kind person, that's what you're going to start receiving, because you have to embody what you want. So how can you expect to be a married wife or a married woman, a married man, and you still out here in the streets? How can you expect to be, how can you expect to do stuff if you in a club? How can you expect to, be grounded when you're doing all this stuff? So yeah, that stuff moving. But yeah, I think we're gonna end it here. Like I said, yeah, just be present, be grounded, be intentional. Make sure you don't let nobody drain you, because they will. Don't even let your negative versions drain you. Yeah, don't let your cycles drain you, because they will drain you to hell. But yeah, I will see y'all sometime soon.